Hello, sirs. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3 minutes past 4:30, which is our kickoff time, and currently we have a number of attendees online, so we're just going to kick straight live for the technical meeting with Engineer Godwin O. Uzo on best practices and opportunities in LPG processing, storage, and dispensing, Oredo gas plant case study. Once again, you are all Once again, you're all welcome to this meeting. Moving on, I would like to call on the section chair to give his opening remarks so we can dive right in for the meeting. Section chair.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Maxwell, for that introduction. I'll just make this really quick just to welcome everyone to the SP Benin May technical lecture. And I just want to say that the SP's mission is to disseminate technical information, and we are happy and it's our pleasure to identify with our traditional and major sponsor of SP events in Benin, MPDC today, for the great achievements that this first indigenous E&P company has been achieving in the space of gas utilization and monetization for the nation. So we want to just say congratulations to MPDC and also to appreciate MPDC for graciously sponsoring this technical meeting, not only by providing XP Benin section with funds, but also providing us with a resource person who will be happy to learn from today about best practices and opportunities in the LPG gas utilization space using the Oredo case study. And I'm also happy to mention that this achievement of MPDC aligns with the global SP International vision, which is to advance our community's ability to meet the world's energy demand in a safe and environmentally responsible and sustainable manner. So we're really, really excited, and we're looking forward to learning as much as possible from this session. Thank you so much, everyone, for making our time to join us this evening. Over to you, Maxwell.
Thank you very much, sir. We are glad to have you in our midst. Now, over to our guest speaker for today, Engineer Godwin Uzo, the Asset Manager, OML 111, Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, who's going to be lecturing us today on the best practices and opportunities in LPG processing, storage, and dispensing, Oredo gas plant case study. Once again, we are all highly excited to have you take this lecture with us, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for having me on this platform. I want to appreciate the chairman of our section and all the distinguished members of SPE Benin section. Thanking you all for the privilege to join us in today's engagement and to also present what we have been doing in MPDC in terms of LPG processing, the storage, and dispensing. I will go straight by, let me share my screen. Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir, you can go ahead, sir.
Okay. Just a moment. Okay. So our topic for today is on best practices and opportunities in liquefied petroleum gas, LPG processing, the storage, and dispensing. So we're using the MPDC, which is the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company Limited, Oredo gas plant, as a case study. And the outline will be as follows. I'll just give an overview of the Oredo field, housing the flow station and the gas plant. And then we look at the LPG processing, the storage, and dispensing, the best practices we have adopted. Then are there opportunities in LPG processing, storage, and dispensing? We'll look at all of that, and then we conclude and take some questions. Before us is the aerial view of Oredo field. From where I'm sitting on my right-hand side, it's where we have the integrated gas handling facility. The field is housing both the flow station and the integrated gas handling facility. So on my left, you will have the flow stations 1, 2, and 3 that are feeding the gas plant. And so this is an area view or pictorial view of the Oredo field, showing all the facilities. The Oredo field gas plant overview. I want to start by discussing of the field that is housing about 3 flow stations. And the reason we have the 3 are because our efforts over the years have been progressive. So we have the flow station 1 that has a designed capacity to process 15 million standard cubic feet of gas. And then the second flow station has capacity also to process about 85 million standard cubic feet of gas. And then we have the third one that can process up to 100 million standard cubic feet of gas. Now, in Oredo field, we have capacity at a go to produce and process about 200 million standard cubic feet of gas. But our focus for this engagement is on the newly completed integrated gas handling facility and the associated LPG and propane loading and dispensing terminal. Now, the field is located in Olobo. That's the onshore region of OML 111 in Edo State. And the OML 111 asset is 100% owned by MPDC, 100% owned and operated by MPDC. We all know the issues with gas flaring in our kind of operation over the years. And it's been a challenge for many operators on how to handle the gas that is being produced and also complying with the gas flare out policy. So that got MPDC team thinking on how best can we handle the gas that we are producing from Oredo field. And we came up with a plan to design, to construct, and commission the integrated gas handling facility in order to process the gas strip it of all the usable elements, the lean gas, the propane, the LPG, and the condensate. So the IGHF, which is the Integrated Gas Handling Facility, was proposed for design, construction, and installation, and we secured approval of our management to proceed with that effort. And so by design, and when the facility is at full throughput or capacity, we can produce lean gas of about 82 million standard cubic feet per day, which we are exporting through the NGC pipeline to the off-takers. And also, the facility has a capacity of producing 345 metric tons of propane per day. And then for our interest today, the liquefied petroleum gas, which is referred to as the home cooking gas, we produce about 330 metric tons per day. That's the capacity of our gas plant, the IGHF. And so the lean gas is exported to the Escravos Lagos pipeline system. And then the LPG goes to the domestic market. And the propane is also sent to the industries. And while the condensate, we export that as we use it to spike our crude production. Now, this is just a picture showing us the Oredo field facilities. Just at a glance, on my left, you have the flow station that is feeding the IGHF with gas. And the IGHF design is to process about 100 million standard cubic feet of gas, which will give us the products that I mentioned, 330 metric tons of LPG per day and 345 metric tons of propane per day with the condensate and the lean gas. So we have the LPG storage and dispensing facility from which the off-takers, the nominated off-takers already pre-qualified, they come in and we load out the LPG to them. So looking at the processing facility, which is tagged IGHF Plot 1, these are some of the equipment, some of the units that we can find. We have the compression unit, we have the dehydration units, we also have the cryogenic units, we have the fractionation units, and then the condensate stabilization units. So all of these we can see in this picture, the picture before us, the Oredo IGHF Plot 1 picture. Then after processing the gas, we usually transfer the LPG and the propane that we have produced to the storage and dispensing facility, which is located about 9 kilometers away from the Plot 1. And it's very close to the Benin-City road, about 200 meters from the road, making it easily accessible for off-takers. We have a parking lot that we included in the design where we can park about 200 off-takers trucks. And the reason for this is to ensure that the whole environment is not taken over by truck drivers who have come to offtake our LPG or the propane. And so each truck that is cleared to load, we usually weigh them as they come in to the facility. And then as they are going out, we also weigh them to confirm the quantity and the volume of product that to make sure that it's in line with what the customer has paid for. In terms of storage, at the plot 2 end, we have about 24 storage tanks that are buried under concrete. They are bullet tanks, mounted bullet tanks. So if you visit the plot 2 location, you will not see a lot of tanks that are littered all over the place. So they are strategically located, and these are explosion-proof concrete that we buried all the tanks. Then we have the dispensing pumps, and our system is highly automated. We have the control rooms, from which our operators monitor and handle every activity at the location. Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. Okay. In terms of our best practices, we take safety. Safety is priority for us in our kind of operation. So we have standard operating procedures that we ensure that are strictly adhered to by everyone in our location. And that has helped us. We have not recorded any form of incident or accident within the period of construction and commissioning and operation of our facility. That's the gas handling facility. And so we ensure strict observance of all safety procedures. Like I said before, the storage tanks are bullet tanks that are encased in explosion-proof concrete, so that in case of any eventualities, it will happen under a controlled environment, and then the location of the plot 2, which is the dispensing and the storage and dispensing facility, it's so secured that it's very secured and far from the community, the residencies around. We have almost about 100 square meter perimeter fence around the facility, so that access to the location will be controlled, and in case there are any issues, it will not impact the host community in any form. And so also the use of the parking lot is to ensure orderliness, as I said before, for all the volume of trucks that will be coming to offtake our products. Are there opportunities that exist in LPG processing, storage, and dispensing? Yes, there are so much opportunities. We have brought so much value to the nation, to the people, to our host communities in terms of employment generation. And so opportunities therefore exist for every other businesses that will be, put in place that will have reduced the level of unemployment in the land. So if anyone engages in the LPG business, it's a means of generating employment opportunities for our citizens. Someone can also engage in bulk transportation and distribution of LPG, and that also will create employment opportunities. And then in terms of production of cylinders and accessories, that's also an opportunity that have been created by the efforts of MPDC to establish this gas processing facility. That's the LPG production in country. Now, other opportunities are retail outlets, those who retail the cooking gas. The number we believe is going to increase. And so there are opportunities for those who are looking for the kind of businesses they want to start. You can engage in, retailing the LPG. If you cannot afford to purchase the trucks that will do the transportation and distribution of the product, you can also engage in the retail of the product. Now, what impact have we made? National strategic fit for the nation is that by completing the integrated gas handling facility and processing the liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, which is the home cooking gas, we have supported the federal government's gas commercialization program for increased revenue. Also, what other impacts? By the processing of the gas into lean gas, which is exported for use by the power generation industries, propane for the other industries, and then the LPG that we are producing for home cooking, we are changing the Nigerian's record as among the top 7 gas flaring countries. It's on record that Nigeria is among the top gas flaring countries in the world. By this singular effort of MPDC, we are changing that record positively, because the volume of gas we produce in Oredo field is now commercialized. We process and get the lean gas, which is pushed to the power generation companies, and then we sell the LPG for home use. And so we are encouraging a cleaner environment, because LPG is a cleaner source of energy. And so we are changing that record that Nigeria is among the 7 gas flaring countries in the world. And also, like I said before, employment generation, we have generated more than 200 direct jobs by completing this facility that is processing LPG in country. And so we also have the other indirect job opportunities that are created because of the several businesses that are springing up even in our host communities and the environs. And so we have made a huge impact as MPDC, a subsidiary of NNPC, in completing this gas plant that is producing LPG in country. In conclusion, I want to say that the effort of MPDC is a strategic achievement as the sole owner of LPG producing facility in country. The asset is 100% owned by MPDC. We do not have any partnership. And the operation of the facility also is done by our own people. No foreign operator, with us. It's a solely owned facility. And then we have demonstrated that ending gas flaring is achievable for a cleaner environment, because we are now commercializing all the products, the lean gas, the propane, and the LPG that we are producing from our facility. So we have demonstrated that it is possible that we can achieve gas flare out in all our areas of operation. Again, we have also supported the federal government policy on domestic gas utilization for improved health of our people. We all know that The federal government policy is that every operator in the industry should make efforts to ensure domestic gas utilization. So MPDC has demonstrated that by completing the gas plant that is producing the liquefied petroleum gas, which is the home cooking gas that we all use in our homes. And then lastly, I want to mention that the efforts of MPDC, we have set the pace, for other operators towards ensuring, by ensuring availability, accessibility, and affordability of LPG as a safer and cleaner replacement for kerosene and firewood for cooking in each home in Nigeria. Now, I want to mention here that by the location of our facility, it is easily accessible. Most of the retailers or off-takers or those who do business, who sell the home cooking gas, which is LPG, travel to as far as Lagos for them to get their products. But right now, by our location, we have a location advantage. Those who are coming from the southeast, their journey has been reduced by almost 50%. If they spend 9-10 hours before to Lagos, of course, they will be spending less than that, which is about 4 to 5 hours, and they will get the product loaded within a short time, and they will return to their location. So our location is easily accessible, and we are making the LPG available for every home in Nigeria. Available in the sense that we are going to flood the market with LPG because we are in-country producers, and then our plan also is to ensure affordability in the sense that when we look at the income of every home, they should be able to afford to pay for the cooking gas. By that, they will, accept to change from the use of kerosene and firewood for cooking, into the use of LPG in their homes. Because continuous use of kerosene and firewood is having a negative impact on our people. And so that's why this effort is commendable, that we now have an in-country facility that produces the home cooking gas. And so we will make it available. It's going to be affordable, and it will be easily accessible because of our location. All of these efforts wouldn't have been possible without the management support that we have. And so by best practice, we are looking at the most efficient and effective way, to achieve one's objective. So we'll look at our people. We look at the people. We have highly competent and committed and dedicated workforce. And also our processes in MPDC, we have standard operating processes that we strictly adhere to. And this has helped us over the years to achieve the best results in our area of operation. And lastly, our facility is highly automated. So we always take advantage of available technology, available technology. And so that's why we can say our practice is the best in the industry. Our mode of operation is very safe. We are impacting our host community positively. We are impacting our environment positively because we have taken off the gas that would have been flared to pollute the environment and commercialize it into much more useful products. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for these insightful presentations and letting us know we have such plans working in Oredo, Edo State with the NPDC. Without further ado, we have questions from participants and we'll just dive right in right now so we keep the time. We'll take a few and others will be answered on our own platforms. We have a question from Andra Asekome. It says, what is the major cause of rise in the price of LPG at the local dispensing stations?
The major cause. Okay. We all know that before now, we have been depending on imported LPG. Okay. And what that means is that exchange rate will be involved, the landing cost and all the charges, terminal charges, port charges, and all of that will be added. And so before the off-taker, takes the product from the terminal and then sells to the retailers, of course, the cost will definitely be high. But what we have done, what we are doing currently is to, as we produce this LPG in-house, we are going to flood the market with it. As I said, we're producing an average of about 330 metric tons per day. We're going to make it available. And when you have the product available in the market, and you look at the forces of supply and demand, if you have the product in surplus, available in surplus quantity, of course, it will affect the price. So that's our objective, to make the LPG, which is the commercial cooking gas, available so as to bring down the cost, which will encourage every home in Nigeria to step away from the use of kerosene and firewood and begin to use the cooking gas, which is healthier for every one of us and the environment.
Thank you very much, sir. Another question here with regards to gas flaring. It says from Wasiu Adeni, thank you for this insight. Why do we still flare gas in Oredo field despite having a gas handling facility?
Okay. Gas flare, depending on the time, I would say he visited to see the flare. Of course, in operations like ours, when we have in our kind of operation, you will always have the gas, what do you call it? The flare stack has to be lit. And the reason for that is for the safety of the facility that we have. Now, someone may see the flare on the stack and feel that we are flaring gas. A lot of times, it might be when we have only a facility offset. If you are around the facility, the field, then you may see some volume of gas that is being flared. But once the offset of the facility is taken care of course, you notice that that flare that you are seeing would automatically come down. So we are making sure that we remove the flare gas completely, the flared volume of gas completely by processing it into useful products, the LPG, the lean gas, and the propane. So probably the time that you see some of those flares are such times that we have facility offset, and our committed and dedicated team are usually working to make sure that they reduce the time that we have such, in our environment. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Another question from an anonymous attendee. It says, thank you for the presentation, sir. Please, do we still export wet gas from Oredo since the feed gas capacity is 200 million metric standard cubic feet per day, and the IGHF has capacity to produce 100 million metric standard cubic feet per day?
Yes, we still part of the volume that we export is the rich gas. But from the IGHF, the design capacity is to process 100 million standard cubic feet. Okay, so but we have another compressor, another nearby facility that can push additional volumes. And so, but we still have some volumes that we export that is rich, but we are processing only 100 million standard cubic feet from the IGHF, So, but the 200 million standard cubic feet of gas is the capacity for the field, that we have capacity to produce that volume. But for this facility that is processing the LPG and propane, it can only handle about 100 million standard cubic feet of gas. So if we have, of course, okay, let me stop there. I will say yes. Hello?
Hello, sir. Thank you. Sorry, sir, I was on mute for a second.
Okay.
We have a question from Mr. Francis Oko. It says, thank you, sir, for this straightforward presentation. Do you have an open LPG offtake opportunity at your plant? What is the procedure to an open LPG offtake opportunity at the Oredo plant? Then what is the procedure to offtake products from your plant?
Okay. Of course, we have we have off-takers that have already been engaged, and the process of engagement was through that they pass through the tendering process where they are pre-qualified and they were cleared before those who met the requirements, for them to be part of the off-takers. We are now engaged. So the thing is that additional information we may get from our commercial team that are handling that engagement, but I know that if we make inquiries, you'll be able to get some updates, But for now, I think we have enough off-takers for the volume of LPG that we are producing. So the opportunity is still there, but you can get update from our planning and commercial team.
Thank you, sir. From an anonymous attendee, he's saying some off-takers allege that accessibility for LPG is difficult due to restrictions on which players can offtake LPG. How true is this?
No, it's not difficult. Of course, as a responsible organization, we whatever we do, means of procurement of services and engaging off-takers is through the tendering process. So if during the advertisement you applied or you supplied your details and you did not meet the criteria that have been put in place there, of course you will not be engaged. All you need is to make sure that you make effort to meet the required criteria. So it's not really difficult, but it's not everybody that will come into offtake. You have to be pre-qualified. And to be pre-qualified, you have to go through the process. So when the advert for engaging off-takers is published, everyone that is interested is expected to apply, submitting the requirements, so as to make sure that you are selected if you meet all that requirements. So it's not actually difficult. It's not something that anybody can just drive in to buy. We are very safety conscious, and we want to also make sure that we do our business professionally. So it's not difficult per se. We go through a process to qualify the off-takers, and those who meet the criteria, the requirements, they are given opportunity to offtake the products.
Thank you, sir. A question from Yusuf Akinrinade. He says, can you share more light on recycling of LPG cylinder initiatives, and how will it affect the LPG consumption or penetration?
Recycling. We are not, of course, we are not producing the cylinders, and we are also not retailing directly. So I don't know. I mentioned that there are opportunities in the production of cylinders and the accessories. Okay, in case someone is thinking of what business to start up or establish, I mentioned that we have opportunity in that area, but it's not part of our the job that we do. Okay, but what we can say, I can say from here is that we must make sure that the gas bottles that we use are very safe for us and our families. Okay, we don't have to use gas bottles that will endanger the lives of our family members. So we must look at the expiration date on the bottles, and we should know when to change out the bottles that we have in order not to create potential danger for our families.
So, another question from Awal Yao. It says, is the facility currently producing and loading at full capacity?
Not at full capacity, but we are ramping up our production. We started production on the 22nd of December 2020. The facility was commissioned, and so gradually we are ramping up because it's a new facility, and so we are not there yet, but we will soon be there. We'll soon get to the full capacity.
Okay, sir. A question from Usman. He says, good evening, sir. Many projects began with a good story and often end up in a sorry state due to lack of maintenance. His question is, what measures are being put in place to ensure that this does not happen to the gas plant?
Yeah, part of our best practices, as I mentioned earlier, is we have in place a formidable maintenance plan. Okay, we have our maintenance team that give us support when required. So we have also our maintenance schedule. So whenever we, some of the rotating equipment, have run hours as specified by the manufacturers, after which we need to carry out maintenance on them before we put them back to, back on stream. And so we have a standard maintenance plan. We have a committed team that is giving us that support. And so we don't see our facility going that way. Our plan is to ensure that we maintain this. And if you, maybe because of time, our efforts in this asset has been very progressive, very progressive. So we are not looking at going backwards, but we'll be moving forward. We'll make sure that the facility is sustained, at all times. So we have a standard maintenance plan that will sustain that facility for a long time.
Thank you very much, sir. Just two more questions before we call it a wrap. We have a question from Mr. Henry Jomanta. He says, thank you for the presentation, sir. The Oredo field by commissioning the IGHF means NPDC has ventured into the midstream business, while primarily still an upstream company. He says, does this have any major impact on the business from a regulatory and fiscal perspective?
At the moment, I would say no. The regulator, the PR, we are working together. We have their support right from the construction stage to the completion stage and the commissioning. And so there's no issue there. And then I want to say that, yes, it's part of the midstream activity, but remember, our target here is to solve problems, and solving problems in terms of taking off the gas that is being fled, which is injurious to human health, which impacts our environment negatively. And so we have made extra efforts in this upstream business to take off the gas that would have been fled, okay? We have commercialized it, and we have taken off the gas being fled off the environment. So we're encouraging a cleaner energy, a cleaner environment, improved health for our people. And so I don't see any problem. We don't have any regulatory issues at the moment because we have their support up to this moment.
Thank you very much, sir. In the course of your lecture, you told us that the site is fully managed and operated by MPDC. And Mr. Oluwasola Akano is asking, which EPC company designed and constructed the integrated gas handling facility at Oredo?
Okay, we have a local company that is called Network Oil and Gas. It's a 100% owned Nigerian company, and they put in all of that effort to, from the design, construction, and commissioning stage of this facility, So it's quite commendable. The name of the company is Network Oil and Gas.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Last question, and for those of us whose questions we were not able to take, please kindly follow us or send us a mail. I'll drop the mail now at the group chat, So you can also send your mail. We'll redirect your questions back to you for time's sake. Thank you. Last question for today, we have Olajumoke. Good day, sir. Please, sir, knowing fully well that domestic gas need more expansion, even in rural areas, what is the plan in expanding gas in rural areas, both the gas and gas bottles available at a lesser price?
Extending at a lesser price. I think, like I said before, having flooding the market, the environment with the LPG will, go a long way in bringing down the price. Remember, this is in-country production. We are not paying for jetty, for storage, or any terminal charges. So the off-takers will drive straight to our storage facility, and then they are loaded and then they take it down to wherever location they came from. And so if answering that question, I think our plan is to make sure that we have it available in every part of this nation. So we're going to make sure that it's sustained, the availability is sustained. When it's available in surplus quantity, of course, the price will be affected. The price will be affordable, by the generality of Nigerians. And so I think that's what I can say. Okay, and then through awareness, most of the people in the rural areas will be encouraged through awareness by educating them that this is a safer form of energy, is better for their health, and also discouraging them from a continuous use of kerosene and firewood. So that can be achieved through awareness, getting the people informed of the benefits of using the cooking gas. And then also on our part, making it available and affordable for the people so that they will accept the product and be able to stay away from what is injurious to their health. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It has been indeed an educative session for us all. And I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to take us on this, I call it a tour, take us on this tour for the Oredo gas fleet. Indeed, sir, we are grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you for having me on this platform. I appreciate the opportunity also to be here.
Okay, sir. You're welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. We just want to use this opportunity to inform attendees that you can also become a member of SP. You can join us. You can visit our website at www.sp.org/en/join/ to become a member, professional member or student member. And as displayed on the screen, there are benefits of becoming a member of SP, which is an international body, and their dues accrued to becoming a member on a yearly basis based on your country of residence. Now, the SP, this is for SP Benin. You want to get more information on how to become a member with the section. We have our website at www.spbenin.com. You can reach us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. You can send us a mail or a WhatsApp message, and in time we'll surely get back to you for your questions or your inquiries. Coming up for SP Benin this month, we have a senior members strategy room webinar coming up on Saturday, 22nd of May by 10 a.m. The theme is Retire to Refire, the toolkits and strategy to create or capture value upon retirement from employment. We'll be having a number of speakers come up to tell us the stories, to give us insights on how they've been able to create value upon retirement from employment. This is a registration link, bit.ly/SMSR webinar 2021. There we can ask your questions. You can have an interactive session one-on-one with either of the keynote presenters or the panelists. Anybody of your choice, you can ask them questions on their own one-on-one. So we'll be expecting registration and see you there on Saturday. Also, we are having our third edition of Field Optimization and Economic Symposium with the theme Emerging Technologies to Shape the Future of Energy in Nigeria. And the date is 26th and 27th of May 2021. We have a venue. It's going to be a hybrid event at Best Western Homeview Hotel and on virtual platforms. You can register on our website at www.spbenin.com/focus. You can visit the site and there's a link for you to click and register to be a part of that program. This is the flyer, and these are part of the panelists, the moderators, the presenters, the guest of honors for that event. We look forward to meeting you there. We look forward to seeing you and having you experience this great event with us. Once again, we thank you for being a part of this monthly technical meeting. We thank the guest speaker for taking our time to educate us on this Oredo gas plant. So we are grateful. We thank all the participants. We thank SP Benin. And once again, you are all welcome. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Without further ado, we can call the meeting to a close. Thank you all for participating in this meeting. Looking forward to getting feedback from you via email, our social medias.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maxwell, for moderating. Thanks to our lecturer and to our sponsor, MPDC, and to everyone that made out time to join today. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Goodbye.